While their GM came out last week and gave a very lukewarm response to Ben. And as you know, as quarterbacks get older, Drew Brees struggled later in a year. There's a big difference. Ben was pretty effective early. As the season went on, that body doesn't react the same way, and he had an ugly last 5 games. What do the numbers say on what Big Ben is today?
Well, I mean, you're right, Colin, and there's a reason Ben led the league with the most pass attempts out of the shotgun, 640. Most pass attempts under 10 yards. There's a reason this offense was 26th in pass play, explosive pass play percentage for us at PFF. So this offense needs a remake. So whether Ben's back or not, this offense needs some shaking up. It needs some shifts. It needs some motion. It needs some play action pass. They're one of the last in the league with the most play action pass, and Ben was probably one of the worst quarterbacks in that area. So there is room to develop for this offense. Now, when it comes to Ben and the Steelers, look, what he has done in Pittsburgh has been remarkable. Just the backyard type football player he is. Just give him a ball and let him play. I've never been around a guy like that. I mean, the closest probably Jeff Garcia, definitely not on Ben's level, but just a guy that has a knack to play football and make plays. We'll see what happens. The Rooneys, that Steelers organization, they let guys play a little longer than maybe, Hines Ward, Troy Polamalu, Jerome Bettis. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But, man, that offense definitely has to develop more explosive plays next season.
Derek Carr, apparently stories now, the Colts, Chris Ballard called the Raiders. They said no thanks. I understand when people look at Carr. He's not dynamic physically. His arm is good, not special. He's mobile, but not a great athlete. But what does he do well and what does he not do well? When you look at the PFF grades, where do you put him in this league?
Well, I mean, he's a top 10 grader for us at PFF. In this past season, he more than doubled his big-time throws. And a lot of people would give Carr a hard time for getting to the check down too quick.
Yeah.
Not this season, man. He ripped the Chiefs apart. I mean, realistically, it was really the only Chiefs' main loss during the regular season besides that Week 17 matchup Mahomes didn't play. So you look at this offense and what they're able to do. If they can now surround Carr with a good defense, I love the hire of Gus Bradley. So we'll see. But I think Carr's a top 10 guy, and he played that way last year. He just has to make a few more plays like that with his legs, and that'll keep John Gruden a little excited and get him happy. But Carr, with his arm and his physical tools, he can get it done.
Sam Darnold, how much is the staff? How much is Sam? What does he do you like? And what does Sam Darnold do that would concern you if you're out to get a quarterback and you're interested in Sam Darnold?
Well, look, they had the second lowest graded receiving unit in New York last year with the Jets. The defense, second lowest coverage unit in the past 7 decades. So it's been pretty bad as a football team. But, Darnold also hasn't helped much, right? I mean, I love the guy as far as his toughness. He's a good teammate, a great person. He's going to work hard. But in a clean pocket, Colin, that's when you got to execute. If you're clean and you have time, you have to make the plays, and that's where he has struggled. Look, his overall passing grade, man, the only one worse than him the past 3 years is Mitchell Trubisky. So there is room for improvement. I do think he can improve because I like his physical tools. I like he can make plays on the run. But in that clean pocket, when things are right around him, he has to be better, and that's one of my main concerns with Sam Darnold.
Carson Wentz, are his flaws correctable? He lost. His accuracy was at times abysmal last year. Again, of his issues, what does PFF think are correctable? Or there's some trends over 3 or 4 years that he's not simply good at certain aspects of quarterback play.
Well, Colin, us quarterbacks, you and I talked offline. We're high maintenance. We need some TLC.
Yes.
So I think that's what Carson Wentz needs right now. I think it's perfect, him going back to Frank Wright. But where he was phenomenal in 2017 was on 3rd and 4th down. I mean, his grade for us was 91.9 or something. And every other year, he never reached above a 75 PFF grade on 3rd and 4th down. So team him back up with Frank Wright. the situational football. Can he play better? He's not going to get back to that level because it's hard. Those critical situations, those aren't stable metrics for us. But I think Carson Wentz, man, if you give him a little TLC, if you build that confidence, coach him hard, he has to, sometimes these young quarterbacks, Colin, they try to see too much. And now when you get in a little slump, now you're missing throws, now your confidence is down. This is great for him, just a fresh start. He needs it. But I don't expect to see him back in 2017 form, but I do expect him to play a lot better, and especially under Frank Reich. I think Reich does an unbelievable job with quarterbacks and also just was as a team leader. And what he's done in Indy so far has been fun to watch.
Listen, we all know Brady's great. When it was all said and done, and when you just looked at what Brady did his grades end up being, he was struggling on the deep ball for a while, but it was all said and done. Was Tom on historic highs, or where was Brady when it was all over?
Man, Colin, I'm glad you're doing well, too. I saw what happened around the Super Bowl time. So if you need me to take your place skiing, just let me know. I'll take that plane ticket out of Toledo, Ohio, man. I'd be happy to do that. But Tom Brady, he led us with most big-time throws throughout the playoffs. I think that football team, after the bye week, they really figured out who they were. That play-action pass, getting Brady back under center, the guy really did play phenomenal. He was nailing it 20-plus yards downfield. He was playing efficient. And physically, to me, just watching the tape, he looks good physically. I mean, he showed no signs of slowing down, and we're waiting for that moment. But, man, that Tampa sun, you're in the L.A., you're spoiled. You got that I got that warm blood over here in Toledo. That sun did him justice, and you could tell physically he still looks good, and I'm happy for him. What a story, man, because more than the X's and O's, I think it's what he brings in that locker room and how guys see him prepare. It's just amazing to watch his career and that he did it again.
Yeah, Bruce Gradkowski, a Pro Football Focus senior analyst. Always great to have you on the show, and we appreciate the data, my man.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Have a good week.
Yeah.